I originally didn't want to give this its own segment, but then I kind of figured we should because I want to rant about a lot of this kind of stuff and it'll take up some time. The commercials and the plugs that they did during SummerSlam. Now, Jim Ross, apparently he says, this is a quote here, SummerSlam has been a clean show devoid of bad attempts at humor or endless non-wrestling content. Big money matches merit big dollar effort. I have no idea what he's talking about because there was a 20-minute lapse here where all we got was a bunch of promos for the National Guard and their new film, and let's watch Kevin Rudolf do his fucking song and the Divas
Well,
dance, and let's show you the audience, and oh, David Arquette's in the crowd, and
yeah.
Maria Menounos
Well,
is in the crowd, and Piers Morgan's in the crowd, where he doesn't know that the camera's at him, and he just kind of smiles and hey, thumbs up. I don't know what I'm doing here. Like it,
well,
it just pissed me off.
well. His quote, I can play devil's advocate with it because
Please
all
do.
the because for me the commercials they served for bathroom breaks. Like there was no really matches that were used for bathroom breaks. Although the best one was the concert. That was the biggest bullshit waste of time I've ever seen, and it was cringeworthy. I'll give you that. But I don't think the commercials were as long as they have been on other pay-per-views. There have been pay-per-views where the commercials lasted a lot longer. Like I remember getting up and at the beginning of a commercial, and then all of a sudden I'm hearing the bell ring for the next match, and I'm bolting back to the couch to watch him.
Hmm.
So I kind of agree with him that there was a lot more action, and the commercials weren't all that long. And I don't know. I don't think they were as big a deal as they have been. But I agree 100% on Rudolph's performance. Let's just focus on that one girl who's fully into the song for every time we do a shot of the crowd because they can't care less about this performance. It seemed they kept cutting to like the same two people over and over again. That was horrible. But as far as commercials go, I think this pay-per-view had less than all the other ones that they put on this year, so I can't complain too much about them. And they didn't last. To me, they didn't last long. Maybe they felt longer to you, but
Yeah,
they
I
weren't.
to me any commercial on a pay per view, there's no excuse for it. It's a pay per
Or
view.
or maybe I've just grown so accustomed to WWE advertising things that they don't advertise on TV because they have other sponsors for TV where it's just like it's commonplace and it doesn't even register as a waste of time to me. But the Rudolph performance, terrible, god awful. But of course, they need something like that. They're always gonna pan, and who could forget, Fred Durst giving the finger? I mean, that was kind of
Oof.
a highlight of panning to celebrities.
All right,
Uh,
let's skip the Limp Bizkit talk right quick and just get because we'll touch upon that in a second. But Jeff, what did you
yeah,
think about
yeah.
the commercials? Did they bother you? Did you kind of just whatever?
I just think that all the WWE pay-per-views need to get rid of the commercials. I mean, what's the use of a pay-per-view with commercials?
I could see justifying it when they put it on the WWE network. Then I would have no problem with it. Then okay, you're offering the pay-per-views for free if you have the network, and you still need to do your revenue and all that. I wouldn't complain. And if they do that and they keep the same level of commercials that they are at now, and they do that for the network, I'm okay with it. If they add more, I'm gonna be even more pissed off. But uh, on a pay-per-view, that's the reason why so many people, well, one of the reasons why so many people don't want to spend $50 on a pay-per-view, because I shouldn't have to spend 45 minutes to watch a musical performance that I don't want, because they didn't advertise that as far as I can remember. I might be wrong
They
about that.
did. They
They
did
did?
on the weekend. Yeah,
Ah,
like the last 2 days before the pay-per-view, they at the last minute announced
All right, well then
the
I'm wrong
musical
about that.
performance.
But
Yeah.
the musician thing, okay, there's a transition for you. I'm kicking ass with those today. Limp Bizkit, Fred Durst gives the middle finger to the camera, and then we hear a whole bunch of shit. Either he's removed by security and thrown out of the building, or he left on his own because he wanted to beat the traffic, or he left on his own because he wanted to go backstage and apologize. Armando Estrada said something about it. He said it's trashy, it's not cool, it's not edgy, you shouldn't be on camera and all that because of the PG era, and because it's just not, you're not like the cool guy that you think you are and all that. I just laughed about it. I thought it was funny because everybody who we were watching the pay per view with were like, "Can you just give the finger?" Like,
well, maybe he was paid to do it.
maybe, who knows? I could see them pulling something like that too. That's the thing, because they keep doing all this stuff with Charlie Sheen and all that. They could easily just tell Fred Durst, "Hey, give the finger," then we'll pretend like it wasn't our doing. But he could have just, decided to do it at the last second too. I mean, I'm sure if WWE would put a camera on me and I was on a pay-per-view, if I didn't have a Smark out moment sign, I'd probably do something like that.
You can't blame the man for flipping the bird.
Yeah. But you can blame me later for the outro. You'll see.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts about the whole commercials and all that stuff, guys?
Yeah, as I said, they didn't bother me. The musical performance shit. That's all I have to say. I guess I'm just the guy who's grown accustomed to commercials on pay-per-views. It's commonplace. And it shouldn't be that way, but I guess they just don't bother me that much.
Well, I think if they had like one or two commercials, that would be all right. Like show a commercial for the next pay-per-view,
Yeah.
that would be all right. But to show like sponsor commercials, I don't see any, like you said, though, if they had the WWE network, if that ever comes around, they could do that then. But there's no place for it right now, I think.
Well, stay tuned for the next part where I'm going to run a whole bunch of commercials for Smack Talk. I should totally do that for one episode. Just keep going. Oh, you know what? By the way, Smack Talk sponsored by, I don't know, thedaceman.com and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. No, the next part we'll actually start getting into the matches, and we're going to start with Ziggler and Chris Jericho.